Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nasdaq Spotlight. I'm your host, Jack Castle, coming to you from the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center in San Francisco. And joining us today is the CEO of Chromatic, Zoltan Olah. Zoltan, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So let's kind of level set for the audience. Tell us a little bit about Chromatic and the solutions you provide.
Yeah, Chromatic builds software for companies to help improve the UX of the internet and their customers' experiences on the web.
Okay. And you recently had a major product release. And I think it was the first in the last 2 years.
For that product.
For that product, okay.
Yeah.
And share a little bit about that release and what was the build up to it?
Yeah, so the release was Storybook 7. Storybook is one of the open source tools that we maintain for component development on the web. And this was the first major release in a couple of years. It improved a lot of the UX of Storybook itself, the user interface, and a lot of the speed of the back end of Storybook. Along with a whole bunch of kind of ecosystem integrations for things like Next.js and Vite, which are all big in the front end ecosystem where we live. But the other sort of big impact of that release was adding major browser support for our testing functionality in Storybook, including interaction testing.
Very cool. And does the proliferation of AI have implications for Chromatic and your product roadmap?
Yeah, absolutely. There are actually two interesting implications of AI. The first is more direct. It's around how can we leverage machine learning and large language models, the kind of current crop of AI for our technology. And that is, we can kind of utilize it to do testing more like a human would. So where a human sort of has a perception and their eye can kind of see certain things, we can train AI to do that. The second is more of a secondary effect because our tools help companies ship good user experiences. The more code that's being written, either by humans or AI, the more valuable our tools become. Of course, one thing about AI is it's not always accurate. We know that, and so our tools become really, really valuable to highlight those inaccuracies.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And obviously you're scaling or we wouldn't be talking.
Yeah.
And congratulations again on being named to the list. I guess maybe as a first timer, what does it mean to you and for the company to be named to the Enterprise Tech 30?
It absolutely recognizes all the hard work that everyone at the company has put in over the years. So that's the biggest one, and it's also great to see that the market recognizes the software that we're building and the impact that we're having. Of course, my mom will be proud too. So,
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. There's always that. Yeah.
Yeah, well done. And so last question for you. We always like to conclude in asking executives, what is some advice you have for this next group of entrepreneurs, especially in the market we are in today?
Yeah, it is a tough market today when it comes to VC. It's taking longer to raise and it's harder to raise. We all know that, but it requires forces a more disciplined approach, and I think that's ultimately better for the entrepreneurs. I think there is a higher signal to noise ratio as well in terms of the companies that are getting funded. So back in 2021, when a lot of people were getting funding, it was hard to tell which companies were really special and which were just sort of buoyed up by the markets. I think that's changed now with the companies that are getting funded.
Yeah, very good perspective there.
Yeah.
Well, Zoltan, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah,
and
my
congratulations again on all your continued success.
Thank you very much.